The Atlanta Falcons are at a crossroads, and what happens next could define not just this season, but the future of the franchise. It's the kind of story that doesn't just make headlines, it generates debate, fuels speculation, and keeps fans glued to every press conference, every tweet, every flowery branch whisper. But before I tell you all about it, be sure to hit that like button and comment below. Were you happy with the draft or not? I want to hear your thoughts. Now, on to the latest news. And it all revolves around two names, Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix Jr. Now picture this, a veteran quarterback with a $180 million contract, still on the roster despite a rough season, trade rumors swirling, and a no-trade clause that gives him the power to choose. That's right, Kirk Cousins is still a Falcon, but for how long? That's the million-dollar question. In a season that began with so much promise, Cousins put up 3,508 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. At first glance, those numbers aren't tragic, but dig deeper and the concerns rise. A brutal 5-game stretch late in the year, just 1 touchdown to 9 interceptions, left fans questioning not just his play, but his place on the team. When rookie Michael Penix Jr. took over in Week 16, it didn't feel like a temporary change. It felt like a torch being passed. Or at least, one being wrestled away. Yet, here we are, days after the NFL draft, and Cousins is still here. Falcons GM Terry Fontenot made it clear on SiriusXM's Shine on Sports that patience is the name of the game. He's been working the phones, talking with other GMs, 6 or 7 since the draft alone, evaluating what's possible, what's smart, and most importantly, what's best for the Atlanta Falcons. There's no panic, no haste, but absolutely no ruling anything out either. We're always open, Fontenot said, adding, if something comes to us with Kirk or any other player that makes sense and it's going to help this team, then we're going to be aggressive and we're going to do it. There it is. The Falcons are open. To anything. That's as close to a for sale sign as you'll get in the NFL when a player has a no-trade clause. But the messaging from the front office is calculated. Fontenot isn't just dangling Cousins. He's managing leverage. Why would the Falcons hurry when they owe Cousins $27.5 million regardless of where he plays in 2025? The money's guaranteed. The only thing that changes is the return on investment if the right trade deal comes along and if Cousins agrees. This is where it gets fascinating. Because that no-trade clause? It gives Cousins control. And while the front office is patient, it's also watching. Watching how Penix performs, watching how other teams handle injuries or shakeups at quarterback, watching the market evolve. The moment the right offer comes in and the veteran agrees, this saga could end. But if it doesn't? Fontenot has already said he's comfortable with Cousins backing up Penix. You heard that right, $180 million, and he might be riding the bench. Meanwhile, the rookie at the center of this transition is getting every chance to prove he's ready. Michael Penix Jr., the 2025 first-round pick, is the future, and the Falcons are ready to ride with him. With OTAs approaching and a new era dawning, the front office is quietly, yet clearly, shifting gears. That doesn't mean Cousins is gone yet, but the writing is on the wall. And then there's the other big storyline that's lighting up Atlanta's fan base, Jalen Walker. This isn't just a draft pick. This is a weapon. A 6 feet 1 inch, 243-pound do-it-all defender who just might be the most versatile player to come through Flowery Branch in years. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich has big plans, visionary, as Walker himself called them. On first and second down, he's mastering the edge. On third down, creative chaos. With 10.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, and 34 pressures at Georgia last year, Walker is already being described as a cornerstone piece. He's played inside, outside, even lined up at nickel corner. There's a reason the Falcons used the 15th overall pick on him. And Ulbrich sees shades of Bryce Huff, except maybe even more dynamic. He could do a little bit more off the ball internally, blitz, drop, etc., Ulbrich said. He's just one of those guys that won't fail. There's a buzz around this defense now. Head coach Raheem Morris called Walker a threat, someone who brings energy, versatility, and character. And GM Fontenot? He didn't even need the scouting report on Walker's personality. One meeting at the local pro day told him everything he needed to know. Unbelievable person, Fontenot said. You start to see the pieces coming together. A patient but aggressive front office. A potential franchise QB in Penix. a defensive weapon in Walker, and a veteran quarterback, still talented, still capable, hanging in the balance. So the question we have to ask is this: what's next? Do the Falcons turn the page fully and deal Cousins before the season begins? Or do they ride with him as the league's most expensive backup? And how will Walker's role evolve as the season kicks off? This isn't just another offseason. This is a pivotal moment in Falcons history. We're watching the beginning of something big, or the unraveling of something that could have been. Now I want to hear from you, Falcons fans. What do you think should happen with Kirk Cousins? Should the team trade him, keep him as backup, or give him one last shot? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if the story of Kirk Cousins and Jalen Walker wasn't enough to stir the hearts of Falcons fans, the deeper layers of this offseason reveal a franchise standing firmly at the intersection of evolution and expectation. Let's go back to the language Terry Fontenot used, not just about Cousins, but about the team's overall approach. Words like patient, open, aggressive. That isn't indecision. That's calculated control. It's Fontenot playing chess, not checkers, in a post-draft landscape where every GM is assessing surplus, plugging holes, and mapping a course for 2025. But behind closed doors, the Falcons are clearly trending in one direction. Michael Penix Jr. didn't just land in Atlanta by chance. He was handpicked. And though he's young, the confidence from the coaching staff is unmistakable. Keeping Cousins around gives them a luxury of stability, but only if it doesn't stall progress. There's no drama inside the building. The respect is mutual. Cousins is a pro. Penix is humble and hungry. That creates harmony, for now. But if the rookie lights it up in OTAs and training camp? If he clicks with the offense, commands the huddle, and shows he's ready? The pressure to move Cousins increases. Because no matter how good a soldier he is, $40 million on the cap for a backup isn't sustainable in today's NFL. And remember, there are teams out there that might still come knocking. Injuries, poor performance, or a coach on the hot seat could change everything. Fontenot knows it. That's why he's waiting. Let the market come to him. And when it does, expect action. Meanwhile, Jalen Walker's role will only expand. Ulbrich sees him as a chess piece that can wreck game plans. He's not locked into one spot. He's a matchup weapon. And when a player can rush from the edge, blitz inside, and drop into coverage with fluidity, that's a nightmare for offenses. It's also exactly what this Falcons defense has needed. Raheem Morris and Jeff Ulbrich want this unit to be unpredictable, and Walker brings that chaos factor. Coaches are already scheming up ways to unleash him. And his willingness to learn, to plug in wherever needed, only adds to the optimism. This Falcons team isn't just rebuilding. It's reimagining. With Fontenot at the controls, Morris shaping the culture, Penix leading the new offense, and Walker elevating the defense, the path forward is clear, even if the final step with Cousins hasn't been taken yet. So now it's your turn, Falcons Nation. If you believe in this new era, if you're excited to see what Penix can do, if you think Walker is the next star on defense, show your support. Like, hit the subscribe button, and join the conversation below. Go Falcons!